This year, I decided to hunt a buck that I haven't actually ever seen. I call him the Phantom Coachman. And I call him that because I first saw his sign. He made some huge tracks, boy, some massive tracks and some massive rubs. And I first saw him along an old railroad bed that's since long gone. There hadn't been trains on that thing in nearly 100 years. But that's where I saw the tracks. I mean, massive tracks. And so I called him the Phantom Coachman. He's still there, though the trains are long gone. But anyway, it's a big deer, and you know it's a big deer when you're driving down the two-track, and 30 yards ahead of you, you can see the tracks stamped into the hard-packed two-track. I mean, it was a huge track. And you could just see them, boom, 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 going right down the two-track, headed right for my camera. I mean, right for my trail cam. It's like, yes, I've got a picture of him. I finally have some physical proof that this deer is real and I'm not just making it up. I was following the trail right up to my trail cam, and the tracks stopped right there. They just stopped. And I thought, well, maybe he took a big old leap and, jumped a long way. And I looked, didn't see him. I decided finally to go check the other side of my trail camera's view. And lo and behold, his track was there. Somehow he had gotten from the one side of my trail camera's view to the other side without leaving a trace. So I checked my trail camera, and he's not on it. The only thing that was on it was a small little fawn going the opposite direction. And I know that fawn didn't leave those tracks because he was teeny and going the other way. I don't know how he managed to be walking down the trail and then not be walking down the trail and then be walking down the trail again past my trail camera. He manages to avoid my trail camera. I don't know how, but he did it.
Oh Lord, you have searched me and known me. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me.
So this setup was one of my favorite setups that year. When I put it in there, the deer had always come around the pond and looped right around the pond, and it was a nice, easy 35-yard shot to where they looped around the pond. But since I put the tree stand there in that spot, the deer made a new trail, and they made the trail so that it went right along through the marsh, right downwind. I don't have a clue how. Let me put it this way: they're smarter than they look. They made a trail right downwind so they could scent check that tree stand every single time. Well, I got tired of it, so I took a risk. Just parked my truck right in the middle of the deer trail. I mean, it's 10-15 yards from the tree stand. It's a really short walk to my tree stand, but I parked the truck right there. I just nosed it right in tight up there so that any deer that came along would see it. And either they'd go bust into Timbuktu, or they would turn and go down this alternative route that I provided for them. I took my four-wheeler and I just drove down the marsh grass and kind of packed it down so that the deer would be, hopefully, want to walk down it.
Going right back to the same spot as this morning. That's the wind we have, and that's the area of the coachman. We're gonna see him tonight. I can feel it. Hopefully you see him laying right here.
I went out late one night. The moon and the stars were shining bright. Storm come up and the trees come down. I tell ye boys I was waterbound. Waterbound on a stranger shore. The river rising to my door. Carry my home to the field below. I'm waterbound with nowhere to go.
Gotta do my tree stand stretches. Long hours of just sitting. Your muscles tighten right up, especially when it's cold. I have that luxury on this tree stand because it's a custom-made jobby. It's pretty big.
Carved my name on an old barn wall, but no one knew I was there at all. Stables dry on a winter night. Turn your head and see the light. Black cat crawling on an old box car.
There's a doe over there.
Rusty door and a falling star. I ain't got a dime of my ration set. I'm waterbound and I can't get back. Bitch, I'm gone and I won't be back. You don't believe me, count my tracks. The river's long and the river's wide. I'll see you boys on the other side.
You might think I'm crazy, but some of you hunters with good sense of smell, bet you'll agree with me that when the bucks get in the rut, you can smell them coming. And I swear I smell one now. A hen and 4 chicks would be my guess.
Red squirrel. There's always a dumb little red squirrel at all my spots. At least one of them that comes out when I get in my stand and goes for I don't know how long. Too long. They always get angry at me for hunting there. I don't know why.
I don't think it's the coachman.
This guy was probably there all afternoon, had stayed there from the morning, which is somewhat rare to have a buck bed in there and stay. But he just stood up out of the marsh. I don't know how far he was, probably 120 yards.
It's got 2 split tines.
But he stood up and went down this new trail, headed right downwind of us again. he saw my truck. And he gave a snort and a wheeze, and I thought he was going and gone.
Where'd it go?
It's right here. Behind the dead branch.
But he didn't. He kind of took 2 hops back the way he came and decided to trot right down in front of us. Just like I had planned, down that little makeshift trail I had crimped down with my 4-wheeler.
I lost it.
He's gonna walk right in front of us, Shannon.
And he stopped. I didn't even have to stop him. He just stopped. And I sat there looking at him, trying to decide if I wanted to shoot him.
In the darkest night, when the storm is raging strong, I need a mighty sound to guide me through. A trumpet blowing in the wind, a voice so clear and pure, calling out to me and to you. I need a mighty sound to guide me through. A trumpet blowing in the wind, a voice so clear and pure, calling out to me and to you. Oh, the sound of the trump, let it carry me to the risen King. Oh, the sound of the trump, bring me to my knees, kneeling on the throne of victory.
I lost it.
He's gonna walk right in front of us, Shannon.
And he stopped. I didn't even have to stop him. He just stopped. And I sat there looking at him, number one, trying to decide if I wanted to shoot him. But mostly because he was at 5 yards. And I was racking my brain trying to remember how I had to put my crosshairs, because my scope is zeroed for 30 yards. And I took a few practice shots at 5 yards, but who takes a bunch of practice shots at 5 yards? Though, in hindsight, I probably should have, because when I had crimped that trail, I knew how far away from the stand it was. So I was sitting there, trying to gauge where to put my crosshair. Is it too high, too low? I didn't want to miss. How embarrassing would that be to miss at 5 yards? My brothers would never let me live that one down. Well, finally I just said, oh, Lord, don't let me miss, and I pulled the trigger.
I hit him high.
I think I went down.
I think he did too.
Took him 150 yards, but he went down. I didn't mess it up. Thank you, Jesus.
He was one of those that we had on camera just recently. I was staring at him in the scope for a long time, trying to age him.
Yeah, you were. You're staring back.
I know. I debated. I prayed. And I said, I'm gonna shoot.
That was like perfect.
Well, he wasn't the Phantom Coachman, but he's a heck of a deer. Blessed and thankful.
Like it was meant to be.
Oh, yeah.
This is my kind of track job. Drive up to it with the truck. I think I see him already.
What a buck.
Again, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but he's got a big gut. What I'm finding is that every year these bucks get fatter and fatter. I think they eat more and more corn every year. He's probably the most points on a deer I've ever had.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
Oh, he's not the Phantom Coachman, but he's a heck of a nice buck. For a buck like the Phantom Coachman, it may be a lifelong quest. I'm sometimes asked why did I shoot this buck and not the Phantom Coachman? Well, it's mostly because the Phantom Coachman is a ghost. I haven't ever seen him eye to eye or even on camera. He has this miraculous ability to elude my camera, even though I've seen signs of him. I've seen massive tracks. I've seen massive rubs and scrapes. You know he's there. You know he is. Every hunter knows that there's a big buck out there waiting in the brush, hiding in the moonlight. And some hunters, the Phantom Coachman just haunts. He obsesses them with a compulsive drive for antlers. They just want more and more tines. And they're driven and driven until they forget why they started hunting to begin with. And they lose sight of all the simple joys of hunting. Other hunters, the Phantom Coachman blesses with the pursuit, the drive to want to hunt more and enjoy those little things that make hunting fun, like that squirrel. And other hunters, the Phantom Coachman blesses with the ability to receive what the good Lord sends him with thanksgiving, like this buck. He's a good buck. Had 11 points, the most points I've ever had on a buck. Not the biggest frame, not the biggest body, but a nice buck. I'm very thankful for it. The Phantom Coachman is still out there somewhere. I've got a lot of good bucks on camera. Who knows? Maybe one of them is the Phantom Coachman in the making. God knows.